Welcome to the first module of the Sustainable Adaptive Teachers Training. This module introduces the foundation for our entire journey, understanding adaptive teaching as the integrative approach that connects three essential dimensions: learner diversity, entrepreneurial mindset, and sustainability values. Over the next 10 minutes, we'll explore why these matters and how you can begin your transformation as an adaptive teacher. Let's start with a classic parable that perfectly illustrates why adaptive teaching matters. In the animal school, all animals were forced to take the same curriculum the same way: swimming, climbing, running, flying. The duck was excellent at swimming but struggled with climbing. Instead of celebrating and leveraging the duck's strength, the school forced remedial climbing lessons until the duck's webbed feet became so worn that it became only average at swimming. Now think about your vet students preparing for careers in smart clothing and sustainable entrepreneurship. They come with different technical skills, different levels of environmental awareness, different entrepreneurial experiences. A one-size-fits-all approach means some will soar while others will struggle. Not because of ability, but because of method. Borik's definition is crucial. Adaptive teaching doesn't mean lowering standards or having different goals for different students. It means recognizing that students will reach the same destination through different routes. In your context, preparing students for sustainable entrepreneurship in smart clothing, the goal might be to design a sustainable business model for a smart textile product. An adaptive teacher recognizes that student A, strong in technology, might need support on sustainability concepts. Student B, passionate about environment, might need technical skills development. Student C, business-oriented, might need both technical and sustainability depth. You maintain high standards for everyone, but you adapt how they get there. Here's the breakthrough insight. Adaptive teaching isn't just a nice pedagogical approach. It's essential for sustainable entrepreneurship education. Why? Because entrepreneurship itself requires recognizing and leveraging diversity. When you teach adaptively, you're not just accommodating differences, you're modeling the entrepreneurial mindset you want students to develop. In sustainable entrepreneurship, there's rarely one correct solution. Your students need to navigate ambiguity, recognize diverse stakeholder needs, and adapt their approaches. By experiencing adaptive teaching, they learn these skills experientially. You're preparing them for a world where adaptive thinking is the core competence. Many teachers see EntreComp, GreenComp, and DigComPEdu as three separate checklists to complete. This is wrong. They're deeply interconnected, and adaptive teaching is what brings them together. Think of it this way. EntreComp teaches you to spot opportunities in adaptive teaching. Those opportunities are your students' unique strengths and needs. GreenComp centers on values like equity and justice. Adaptive teaching is equity in action. DigComPEdu focuses on digital collaboration. You'll use digital tools to personalize and adapt learning. You can't be an adaptive teacher without drawing on all three frameworks simultaneously. Let's make this concrete with a real scenario you might face. You're teaching about sustainable business models. One student struggles with the business model Canvas tool, but has incredible design ideas for smart textiles. Using EntreComp, you spot the opportunity. This student's design strength is an entrepreneurial asset, not a deficiency. Using GreenComp values, you ensure equity. The student shouldn't fail just because one tool doesn't work for them. Using DigComPEdu, you provide alternative digital pathways, maybe a visual storytelling app instead of the traditional Canvas. Notice how you're not using GreenComp in week 1, EntreComp in week 2, DigComPEdu in week 3. You're using all three simultaneously to adapt your teaching. This is what makes you an adaptive teacher. Looking at the competence matrix for this module, notice that the basic level uses verbs like recognize, identify, use. This is deliberate. You're building awareness and starting simple applications. For EntreComp, you begin by recognizing that student diversity creates opportunities, not problems. For GreenComp, you start by identifying your own values around sustainability and equity. For DigComPEdu, you begin using simple digital tools to connect with colleagues and students. Don't underestimate the basic level. Many teachers skip this foundation and jump to advanced techniques that don't work because the mindset isn't there. This course will guide you through all 3 levels systematically. What makes someone an adaptive teacher? Research identifies 3 core characteristics. First, responsive teaching means you're constantly diagnosing where students are. You don't just deliver content, you're reading the room, noticing confusion, spotting readiness, adjusting on the fly. Second, on-the-spot decision-making means you're not enslaved to your lesson plan. If students are struggling with concept A, you don't plow ahead to concept B just because that's what's next. You adapt. Third, continual monitoring means you have 360-degree awareness. You notice the student who's zoned out, the pair who finished early, the group that's stuck. And you respond to all of this simultaneously. This might sound overwhelming, but here's the good news. These are skills you can develop systematically through this course. Pause here for a moment of honest self-reflection. This isn't about judging yourself as good or bad. It's about building awareness of where you are now. Think about your last class session. When you were teaching, were you checking understanding continuously? Or did you wait until the end to discover some students were lost? When a student asked an unexpected question, did you answer briefly and return to your plan? Or did you recognize it as a learning opportunity and explore it? Many teachers realize they're actually quite adaptive in some moments but rigid in others. That's normal. The goal of this reflection is to identify your patterns. Where are you already adaptive? Where could you develop more flexibility? Write down 1 to 2 specific examples for each characteristic. This will become your baseline as you progress through the course. Let's acknowledge the elephant in the room. Adaptive teaching sounds great in theory, but in practice, it's hard. You're probably thinking, I have 30 students in 50 minutes and a curriculum to finish. How can I possibly adapt to everyone? This is legitimate. Adaptive teaching does require letting go of some traditional approaches. It can feel uncomfortable. It requires learning new tools and methods. But here's why this course is designed as 10 modules. Each subsequent module gives you specific tools and strategies to address these challenges. When you learn to use inquiry-based methods, Module 2, students become more independent, reducing the teaching 30 people individually problem. When you learn to use virtual simulations and AI modules 4 to 5, technology does some of the adaptation for you. When you master Adaptive Feedback Module 10, assessment becomes easier, not harder. So, yes, it's challenging, but you're not doing it alone, and you're not expected to figure it all out in Module 1. This is just the beginning. This is your baseline self-assessment using the exact matrix that guides this course. Look at the basic level first. Can you honestly check most of these boxes? If yes, you're ready to aim for intermediate. If not, that's fine. Basic is where most teachers start. Notice that basic level focuses on awareness and beginning to use. You don't need to be perfect. You're recognizing, identifying, visualizing, using simple tools. Intermediate adds depth, analyzing, reflecting critically, collaborating systematically. Advanced means you're leading others and embedding these practices in your teaching culture. Here an assignment after this module. 1. Complete this self-assessment honestly. 2. Set one goal for where you want to be by the end of this 10-module course. 3. Keep this as your reference point. We'll return to it in Module 10. Congratulations, you've completed the foundation module. You now understand the why and what of adaptive teaching. The remaining 9 modules will give you the how, specific methods, tools, and frameworks. Before moving to Module 2, Invest 20 minutes in the additional materials. Video on adaptive learning. Animal school reading. Video on adaptive teacher. And here's your first real-world challenge. In your next class session, try one adaptive move. Maybe it's checking understanding halfway through instead of at the end. Maybe it's allowing students who grasp a concept quickly to move ahead while you support those who need more time. Start small, observe what happens, reflect on it. This is how adaptive teaching begins, not with perfection, but with intentional experimentation. Welcome to your journey as a sustainable adaptive teacher. Let's continue to Module 2,